The decision makers who decided to issue this memorandum. Clearly, such a big decision could not have been taken by a person who signed the document, even though there will be a signature of particular person, but that person is not taking the decision alone. He can't take. The officer was merely implementing the instruction given by Minister of Personnel and Public Grievance and Pension, of which the department was a part, and the person who is giving that implementing, that is the one of the person from that particular department. We can guess that such a major decision would have involved other major functionaries in our country. You have already read the previous class about some of them. Let us go over some of the main points that you covered then. The president is the head of the state and is the highest formal authority in the country. Who is the head of the state? President, and he is the highest formal authority of the country. Prime Minister is the head of the government. You want to be clear that one, please underline. President is the head of the state and Prime Minister is the head of the government and actually exercise all governmental powers. And President is the highest formal authority of the country, but Prime Minister actually exercise all the governmental powers. He takes most of the decisions in the cabinet meeting. In the cabinet meeting, Prime Minister is taking the decision, or with the help of all cabinet ministers, they are taking the decision. Parliament consists of the president and two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. We know in the parliament there are many bodies like that. First one, it is president, then comes two houses, that is House of the People, that is known as Lok Sabha, and House of the Council, State Council, that is known as Rajya Sabha. The Prime Minister must have the support of a majority of the Lok Sabha members. So, were all the people involved in the decision regarding the office memorandum? Let's find out. This office memorandum was the culmination of a long chain of events. The government of India had appointed a second backward class commission in 1979. Please underline, when government of India appointed a commission, what was that commission name? Second backward class commission. In which year? 1979. Please underline. It was headed by B.P. Mandal. Who was the chairman of that commission? Chairperson of that commission? B.P. Mandal. Please underline. Hence, it was popularly called Mandal Commission. Why we are calling it Mandal Commission? Because B.P. Mandal was the president of that one. That's why we are calling it Mandal Commission. And it was asked to determine the criteria to identify socially and educationally backward classes. We have seen already SE, BC, socially and educationally backward classes in India, and recommended steps to be taken for their advancement. The people, they are socially as well educationally backward people, they want to get some reservation for to come to the mainstream of the society. And the commission gave its report in 1980. After 1 year they given the report and made many recommendations. They given many recommendations to the government. One of these was that 27% of the government job be reserved for the socially and educationally backward classes. One of the recommendation was giving a reservation for them. That is how much it is? 27%. Then the report and recommendations was discussed in the parliament, and Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, they discussed for many times, many days. For several years, many parliamentarians and parties kept demanding the implementation of the commission recommendation. Many parties and many the politicians, the parliamentarian, they try to implement or demanded for that implementation of the commission recommendation. Then came the Lok Sabha election in 1989. In its election manifesto, the Janata Dal promised that if voted to power, it would implement the Mandal Commission report. Then Janata Dal taken that slogan like that, they give a dream in front of the people. If we are giving ought to us, Janata Dal persons, then if we are coming in the power and we will implement the commission report, like that they said. Then the Janata Dal did form government after the Janata Dal did form the government after the election, and its leader was VP Singh became the prime minister. Several developments took place after that, and who was the leader of that Janata Dal government? That is VP Singh, and he taken many steps for the developmental activities. Then some pages are missing, no? Okay. First one, the President of India in his address to Parliament announced the intention of the government to implement the recommendation of the Mandal Commission. In the name of President, we have seen that one is the key point. All the major decision takes in the name of President. Like that, he implemented. He announced that we are going to implement the recommendation of the Mandal Commission. On 6th August 1990, the Union Cabinet took a formal decision to implement the decision. In which date they taken the decision? 6th August 1990. Next day, Prime Minister VP Singh informed the Parliament about this decision through statement in both the House of Parliament. Both houses, what are the both houses? Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. The decision of the Cabinet was sent to the Department of the Personnel and Training. The senior officer of the department drafted an order in line with the Cabinet decision and took the Minister's approval. And the Prime Minister taken the decision with the help of his Cabinet, then that given to that particular department, then the senior officer, he is making the order and taking the Minister's approval. And officer signed the order on behalf of the Union government. This was how OM number 36012/31/90 was born on 13th August 1990. In the order, if the government is giving order, any department, there should be a number and date also. For the next few months, this was the most hotly debated issue in the country, and newspapers and magazines were full of different views and opinions on this issue. After coming this government order, many debates took place in the country. It led to the widespread protest and counter protest, some of which were violent. There was protest against this issue, and some of them were supporting this issue. Like that, both sides there was protesting, and counter protest also was there. Sometimes it became violent also. People reacted strongly because of this decision affected the thousands of job opportunities. Not only it is a small thing, it is affecting many job opportunities. That's why people protested against it. Some felt that existence of the inequalities among the people of different castes in India necessitated job reservations, and they felt this would give a fair opportunity to those communities who so far had not adequately been represented in the government employment. Some of the people, they felt like that it is a good decision, because the people, they never got chance to work in the government sector, means the in the decision level. That way they will get adequate representation, like that they are thinking. Others felt that this was unfair, as it would deny equality in the opportunity to those who did not belong to the backward communities. Means already SC/ST reservations are there. Now giving the OBC reservation also, then the general group, they will feel awkward, or they will getting more inequality, or we are going to deny their equality, like that they are feeling. They would be denied job even though they could be more qualified. For example, if a nurse in the general quota, she's got 95% of the mark, but OBC reservations are there, SC/ST reservation, those who are coming with a 60% also will get job, and they will become the government like the officer, and the person who got about 90%, he will rejected. That was the counter means the reason for protest. Some felt that this would perpetuate caste feeling among people and hamper national unity. Some other argument against the protection, because again the caste feeling will arise more than before. Then it will harm the national unity like that. In this chapter, we won't discuss whether the decision was good or not. We only take example to understand how major decisions are taken and implemented in the country. We are what we are going to see only how the decision taking process is happening. That only we are going to see in this lesson. We are stopping here. We will continue in next day. Thank you. Have a nice day.